Hey guys, what's up? It's day 3 of the quarantine, the great quarantine of 2020. This is lunch with the lawyer something. I don't know what it is. I don't have a guest today, so I thought I'd go over some of the main tips, some of the things that I find myself saying to my clients over and over and over and over and over again. Most of this, of course, is going to be criminal law, but it pretty much applies to everything. So the number one thing I say to my clients of any age, all ages, if you're ever accused of a crime, shut up. Okay? If you're ever being investigated for a crime, shut up. And I'm saying it nicely. There's two dudes on Instagram who are Instagram famous who say it much less politely. And so, but they're right. Look, innocent people do go to prison. We know that. And every one of those innocent people looked guilty or they wouldn't be in prison. And every single one of those innocent people were innocent. So they thought that everything was going to be okay. And they probably, in a huge amount of cases, talked to the police. And then so they talk to the police thinking they're going to get out of it because they are innocent, because that's what the police are there to do, to find out who did it, and it wasn't them, so they have no problem. And it just never works out. So assuming that innocent people are in jail who thought they were just talking to the police, that's where you want to be at all times. If you even think you are if a police officer comes to you to talk to you about something that anybody could construe you being a part of, be quiet, ask for an attorney. An attorney will be able to advise you and be able to escort you and be able to help you in your dealings with the police. That doesn't mean you're guilty, but that's what people think. Oh, geez, especially guilty people. By the way, guilty people are the first ones who are like, if I don't talk, he's going to think I'm guilty. Because they are guilty. But innocent people think the same thing. No, I have no reason to hide. So they have the same result for slightly different reasons. But that's my number one tip. Okay? Things get crazy. I'm telling you. I understand the cops are there to protect us. And the police, for the most part, do a wonderful job of that. But when they're doing that job, they tend to think that people are guilty. And they don't tend to see any gray area. And then once they file their police report, it's out of their control and it goes to the DA, who is exactly the same way. They're humans. They're imperfect. But they see the police report. They assume guilt and they proceed. So I can't tell you, I am a master. I've literally been trained in interrogation, and so have the police. And I can tell you that whether it's a police officer sitting across from you, or it's that DA, or even another attorney. Any statement you made before, we will pick apart and we will make you look like a liar. That's kind of our job. That's just how it works. And it shouldn't work that way when it's a prosecutor, because they're supposed to be seeking justice, whereas me, the defense attorney, I'm supposed to be zealously representing my client. And the system working will get justice. But it is that way. The prosecutor not necessarily out for justice, or more importantly, he thinks that justice is putting you in jail, even though you may be an innocent person. So be quiet. That's tip number one. Don't talk to the police for any other reason than to file a police report. Okay. I wish I could follow that. My brother's a cop. I wish I could just not talk to him. No, I'm just kidding. So then that's number one. Number two, I deal with a lot of juveniles, and family issues. And look, I'm going to start with this. This is not my tip, but it is a tip, and it's important. If you are the victim of abuse, please, 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 for the love of God, go get help. There's a million near you. There's a place that helps. You can start at the battered spouse shelter, the battered women's shelter. You can look up domestic violence help, and you can find national hotlines. You can find local people. You can find a person who will come to your house and help you. Do whatever you have to do to get out of this situation. No person, whether a child, a woman, a man, no person should suffer abuse at the hands of someone that they love. It's a horrible thing. It does happen way too much, and we need to stop it. That's my caveat. However, a lot of times it's not abuse. Assault is not related to battered wife syndromes, repeat domestic violence. Sometimes the person is just having mental issues, and this is where I see this, or more importantly, where I see it most is it's a young person, a child, who is having significant problems with their parents, or a person with, schizophrenia, a person with just got drunk but are not being physically abusive. Okay? This most applies to a child who gets out of control with their parents and they get into a physical struggle or whatnot. I'm not telling anybody not to call the police for anything. However, I am saying that if you do call the police, you must know that somebody is going to jail. Just keep that in your mind. If I call the police, somebody is going to jail. And I get call after call, consultation after consultation, where a parent will say, look, I'm a single parent. He was out of control. I didn't know what else to do, so I called the police. And then they'll come to me and say, I just wanted help, but now they've pressed charges on my child. I wasn't really hurt. I mean, it didn't feel good, but I wasn't injured. I didn't get any marks or maybe a little red spot. And now I'm the victim, but I have to pay you. I have to pay probation. I have to pay everything, restitution. I have to pay all this stuff. And I was the one who called the police asking for help. And I just want, man, it doesn't even have to be assault. I had one where it was, I've had numerous where it's drugs, right? Man, I found this marijuana in my kid's bedroom, and I wanted to teach him a lesson. So I called the police, and I had him come out, and I showed him the marijuana, and I wanted him to be responsible for it. But now I have to pay you. How much are you asking for? That's crazy. It was me. Why do I have to pay? Or a spouse, I wanted to get my family member help. They were on drugs. They were a little out of control. They weren't hurting anything, but they were throwing stuff around. And so I called the police, and now they're in jail, and they've been in jail for 14 days. All these stories I hear on a regular basis. All these calls are made to my office on a regular basis, and everyone is frustrated. What is going on? I have to pay you $1,500 to represent my son because I called the police. All I wanted was help. All I wanted was help. All I wanted was help. I'm just telling you, because of lawyers, because of everything, the age of police helping you is pretty much gone. Okay? Police are there to investigate crimes. They don't have time for anything else because there's so many crimes. Not only that, but because there were these gross, disgusting family violence, repeat violence situations, they kind of have their hands tied. The law says pretty much if you think there was a family violence, any unwanted touching occurred, somebody's got to go to jail, and that might be your child, and you're going to pay for it, and you're going to be like, what is going on? And all I can tell you is when you call the police, know that is likely going to end in someone being arrested and someone have to paying for a lawyer. Now, if you're calling the police because there's a stranger at your door, of course, it's not even a second thought. because that guy's going to have to pay all that. But if it's your family member, if it's your child especially, just know that they are going to go to jail. If they are abusing you, then they should go to jail. So call the police, report them, and send their ass to jail and show them they can't abuse you. But if that's not your intention, if they aren't abusing you, then know that it's not going to be helpful. They are going to be there investigating a crime, not there to help you out. They're going to take someone to jail, and somebody's going to have to pay for a lawyer. So that's my tip number 2. I try to tell the parents, and every day I hear the same thing, and I have to go, yes, I get it. You were trying to get help, but this is the help. The help is you paying thousands of dollars for this action. So know that when you call the police, tip number 2, when you call the police, someone is going to get arrested. All right? Okay, and so the first tip was generally about criminal law. The second tip was about juvenile law. So now I'm going to do my third part, which is family law. My number 1 tip for family law. Spend more on your counselor than you do on your lawyer. Now I'm saying that as a lawyer who's going to lose money if you do that. But I don't care if it's family counseling, counseling for your kids, or counseling for yourself. They all work. You're at a time where there's a dynamic that you can't figure out, a psychological dynamic that you can't figure out, and that you're asking others, the lawyers, the judge, and everything to help you figure out. Now, maybe it's because the other side's totally crazy, and that's fine. But there are ways to deal with crazy people that don't include the courts. Maybe there's no other choice. But just being in that situation itself is psychologically traumatic, far more than you realize. I promise you that. So please, take the time, get a counselor, make sure that you're good, make sure that you have the tools to go through this. The more tools you have, the less money you will spend on an attorney. I can almost guarantee you that. In fact, I guarantee it. So tip number 3 is very simple. Spend more money on a counselor than you do on a lawyer. So that's my 3 tips. Thanks for having lunch with me, guys. I appreciate it. Coming up next, going to do these taco review. And so let's try these tacos. But before we get to the tacos, I have a special guest. I did bring in a guest. What's your name?
Ruby.
This is Ruby. She's like one of the sweetest girls in the entire world. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And what are you going to do for us today, Ruby?
I'm going to tell lawyer jokes.
Lawyer jokes? You know lawyer jokes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, so thank you for coming, and let's get to some lawyer jokes. Okay?
You're not like any of them.
These lawyer jokes don't apply to me.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Here we go.
How can you tell when a lawyer is lying?
I don't know. How can you tell when a lawyer is lying?
His lips are moving. How does a lawyer sleep?
I don't know. How does a lawyer sleep?
First he lies on the first side, and then he lies on the other. Why do they say lawyers lie?
I don't know. Why do you think they say lawyers lie?
I don't know.
You don't know? You just heard the jokes? Well, the joke is that lawyers lie because when we're in court, we don't have to tell lawyers don't have to tell the truth. The people on the stand do, but lawyers don't have to. We try to make it seem like our side is winning. So that's not the most honest thing in the world. But it's just how the system works.
Yeah.
You have any other questions about lawyers?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. You have any question about what Daddy does?
No.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Only jokes.
Only jokes? Got any more jokes?
What is the difference between a tick and a lawyer?
I don't know, Ruby. What's the difference between a tick and a lawyer?
A tick falls off when you die. This is kind of scary. This is kind of getting creepy now. What do you call a lawyer who doesn't chase ambulances?
I don't know. What do you call a lawyer who doesn't chase ambulances?
Retired. I don't get
I'm not retired, do I? Am I?
I
I work
don't
all the
get
time,
it.
huh?
I don't get it. Oh, like you're tired of running.
Yeah.
And you retired. A zombie in a room full of lawyers.
I don't know. What would happen when you lock a zombie in a room full of lawyers?
He's starved to death. It's weird. You have a brain.
I do?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Tell them that. Look in that camera and tell them that.
They do. My dad does have brains. What would you call a lawyer who gone bad?
I don't know. What do you call a lawyer who's gone bad?
Your Honor.
Your Honor?
I don't get it. Why don't sharks attack lawyers?
I don't know. Why don't sharks
Attack lawyers.
Sharks attack lawyers?
Professional courtesy. Where can you find a good lawyer?
I don't know. Where can you find a good lawyer, Ruby?
In the cemetery. Did I say it right?
Said it first.
What's the difference between a lawyer and a vampire?
I don't know. What's the difference between a lawyer and a vampire?
A vampire sucks blood at night.
Well, we'll stop there. Thank you so much, Miss Ruby, for telling jokes for me. That was awesome. Those are good jokes. I like them.
None of them is like you.
None of them are like me?
Yeah.
So they don't apply to me?
Yeah.
All right, good. Give me a kiss.
Mwah.
Wait, bye to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
So now, on to the food review. Today we have a local, we're sticking with tacos. If you ain't figured it out, we're on the taco thing. I'm going to try to exhaust all the tacos in Denton around me, or as close as I can get. And so today is tacos from Taqueria Bethel. All right, so this is a gas station. Just going to tell you his recommendation from my buddy Brian Griffin. If you haven't watched that podcast, that video, go back and watch it. It's really good. I believe it's number 3 or 4, but it's Brian Griffin. He's awesome, tells a lot of cool stuff. Fun to listen to, and a cool guy. And he recommended this Taqueria Bethel. It's in Denton on 35 and Teasley, right on the corner. It's in a Shell gas station. It's a very nice family. They were awesome. I'm just going to tell you, I love this family. They were so nice. It is cash only. Usually that means it's pretty legit, but we will see. I got the regular that I usually get, which is a fajita, or the main beef, a pastor, and a barbacoa, I believe is what I got here. So I'm going to try a bite of each. One bite, everybody knows the rules. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to try, this looks like the barbacoa. I gotta tell you. So Brian warned me about this. I like greasy tacos. I like the grease. Maybe it's just a pig in me. These are not greasy at all. And Brian warned me about that. But he was completely right. These tacos were excellent. Very good. Seeing how they're right around the corner from me, I'll definitely be going back, but I might drive to these tacos. For as dry as they are, don't get me wrong, they're not dry. They're just not greasy. They're good. They're moist. They're delicious. Everything was good. Honestly, the pastor, which is usually my favorite, was one of my least favorites on here. The fajita was awesome. Probably one of the best fajitas I've ever had. Again, the meat doesn't look like, so I like the crispy. I like them to really crisp the outside of that meat. They didn't do that, but the flavor more than made up for it. So, I am going to give this taco place an 8.8. Very good. I would drive to it if I was anywhere close. Excellent tacos. So try it out. It's Taqueria Bethel, right on the Shell gas station on the southwest side of southbound I-35E and Teasley Lane, right there in that little Shell gas station. All right, guys. Well, that was a review. That's a video. I appreciate y'all listening. Have a good one.